Hi, this is Dianna Chenevert, and I just am touching base and giving you a little update. Welcome, family, friends, and followers aboard Crown Prince. And you can follow me on Twitter under Mama Dianna, Instagram Dianna_Chenevert, YouTube Mama D's TV, Facebook. I have a page for a personal page with my name, Dianna Chenevert. One for the book, A Search for Truth. One for a Resting Place Retreat Center, my eco-friendly project. And Pinterest, just under my name, Dianna Chenevert. I hope you'll follow and come along with me on this journey. I am inside right now. The sun is setting, and I had some things I was going to share with you. I picked this this television. It's kind of cool. It works on AC and DC. It's nice because you can put DVDs on the side, and I can watch a lot of different channels. Jensen Franklin, one of my favorites, is on right now. He's on Hillsong, and then I also have TBN and regular stations. It works pretty good. Just kind of goes through the channels and whatever I want. Now, right now, I have it hooked up on this. I picked this antenna up from Walmart. It's under $45, as you can see here. It's kind of right now, I'm not hooking anything up really permanently because at some point I will mount the television. But for now, it works here well. And what I did is I had a full-length, I don't know if you can see this, I had a full-length refrigerator. I removed it and put a smaller one because it wasn't functioning properly, and it cost $2,000 to put a new one. So what I did is I made storage space above it and put some nice little, it's kind of cloudy outside, so you can't see in here. I don't have my LED lights, but anyway, so I have plenty of storage, and I take my little vitamin C to keep me healthy. Sore throat time's coming up, maybe for some people who have sinus things. Those throat coat teas are awesome. Anyway, so of course, any of you that know I lived in New Orleans for 22 years know that Cafe Du Monde is still my favorite place to go, so I keep coffee and chicory aboard. Some of the things that have helped me along the way too, my son gave me a Yeti, which is nice. Keep my things cold, hot, whatever. And then I have little koozies to put my things in. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is, as you recall, those of you who've been paying attention to what I'm doing, I came to Texas, and this was the boat before I got it. Yes, it had sunk, and I had to clean it all up. You can look on my YouTube page. You can see all the mess. It was in the horrible condition. Didn't understand at first when I chose to do it what the heck I was thinking when I got here. This was the head. Anyway, so the thing is that as I was cleaning up, I got revelation. Basically, it goes right along with my testimony. I'm writing a book called A Search for Truth. This is the before and after. And, oops, do I not have a... Oh, that's the bathroom now. If you've been following, you will hear my testimony. Before I came to know the Lord, I was dirty like that inside, and I felt like it was like a revelation about how the transformation in my life happened and how the Lord removed all that old junk out of me. But it's a long story. I don't want to take too long to tell you all that. I did want to show you some cool stuff. Of course, this towel here, I laid it down under things, is from West Marine. It's a microfiber. I am all for American made, but it was made in China, and I hosted exchange students, so I know my Chinese kids would love that. But anyway, I love their tote bag, which is a recyclable bag, and you know, they kind of support all the recycling things too, which is awesome. And of course I use Dawn aboard, which is important. And West Marine has all these important things you need to post on your boat. So they're a great source. I also picked up their book, The Intercoastal Waterway. For me, this is the waterway guide along the coast and everything, but I needed to, since I'm going to be traveling along the coast from southeast Texas to northwest Florida, I need to make sure that I have all the information. And I don't know if you know this, but it is from right to left. It's kind of wild. It's like when you travel, you kind of have to start. When I go from one side to the other across the Gulf Coast, I have to backtrack when I look in here. It's like I said, it goes the opposite direction. This is, I would think, I always look at everything from left to right, but obviously that's not the case in the Intercoastal Waterway, because they navigated from the East Coast to the West Coast. So that's one of the reasons that they do that. So it's kind of interesting. You learn something new every day. Anyway, so West Marine and the waterway guides are great for getting information that you need to learn if you're going to do any kind of boating. And if you're going to have a boat, of course you need to have a manual. This is my complete manual. Okay, I think it is. That I've been studying so that I can take Crown Prince from Texas to Florida. Presently I have these big 454 engines in them, and I even bought the book to be able to learn more about the engine, make sure I knew everything, and that I may even have to buy used engine for the port one, because it's not in as good a condition as I would like. But the reason I'm telling you this is because I'm trying to make decisions. Part of my vision for the Eco-Friendly Retreat Center project is to have electric engines. So I've been doing some research. So my cruiser weighs 1,000 pounds each. I have twin 454s in there. And right now, since they're not manufacturing 454s anymore, I was thinking, what if I go hybrid? And remove the port engine, put electric engine, and trade it out. It's 1,000 pounds weight, and guess what? I added it all up, and the electric engine from, well, this is a German-made company, so I'm gonna have to look for an American-made if I can't get somebody to help me with this. But anyway, so I weighed everything, the inboard motor, the electronics, the lithium batteries, the connection boxes, the converter and everything, and it weighs 1,015 pounds, which is awesome. So I'd only have 15 pounds more than what I would need. But this is really cool. The batteries are completely sealed. They're the connectors, they're made from marine. Of course, you know, I wouldn't be looking at them otherwise. They're more expensive, but not too much when I get looking at everything. And I was surprised. Now, this book has both outboards and inboards, but I was only looking at the inboards. But they say that they are powering yachts now, not just sailboats. And I'd like to know what you think about that. I'm still finishing up my research. It takes time. I have noticed that when looking for places to dock boats, that like, say for instance in the Pensacola area where I'm going to be, if you look on these, this is this is a water, like a fishing recreational map, but if you look on them, you can see the different depths of the water levels. Everything from 34, 26, 17, jumps down to 4 foot. So where I'm going with this is that some areas, the sailboat draft is 4'9". So in some ways I started thinking, goodness, it's going to be harder for me to get in certain areas, and with the mast I'm not going to be able to take it everywhere I need to go. I mean, if I take both of these vessels back to Texas, from Texas to Florida, I may have to go some places that only have no bridges, or I'll have to go the long way around. So I started thinking, goodness, and some of the places I wanted to dock, they don't want sailboats, they only want powerboats. So I need places that I can dock both. Anyway, so the other day, anyone that's been following along knows that once I restored Grace, the sailboat that I named Grace, her name wasn't Grace when I first got her, but when I restored her, I had a man who has an 80-foot yacht come over and said that they all thought I was crazy until I came and they saw how I had restored this particular boat. And it was one of the most encouraging things anybody could have said to me, because this has not been an easy project. I've been doing it by myself. I've had help one day helping haul out things. I've paid some guys to do some minor work, but most of the things I've had to do myself, so it hasn't been easy. And anyway, so as much as I loved and had fallen in love with my sailboat, I was questioning the wisdom of trying to get 2 boats back at the same time, but I just kind of kept it to myself. Well, the other day, Blackie, the same man that has the 80-foot boat that told me that he thought I was crazy when I first came until he saw how I restored the boat, he came and knocked on Crown Prince and said, Diana, you want to sell that sailboat? And I said, why? He says, well, one of my employees wants to buy it. He has children and he wants a project, and I thought, well, let him come talk to me. So when he came and talked to me, I was thinking, you know, my retreat center project, I want children to come and enjoy it. I want people to bring their families. I want, you know, a variety of activities for the retreat center. And so it kind of made sense for me to go ahead and bless someone else with the boat and get some of the money that I'd put out of it so I could put it into Crown Prince. So I've decided to do that. And it kind of was hard for me to make the decision, but sometimes, just like some friends of mine had told me, maybe it's seed for the retreat center, and so I'm going to take one thing off of my plate, because I'm not finished with the book, and it takes so much time to research and do everything that when you're doing it by yourself, it's one less thing on my plate. And I'm not giving up, I'm still continuing forward, but I did make the decision to let someone else have Grace that has a lot of money that will restore her much better than I could right away, and she'll She was a Morgan built boat designed by Charles Morgan, and I really liked her, but it's going to be a joy to get to see someone else restore her in the way and manner that I would like to see her done, and I can get other sailboats in Florida. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to say is the other day I was feeling a little discouraged after the thing with Grace, and I stopped by the Sea Scout base in Galveston. I don't know if any of you know about it, but it's kind of cool. They teach young people how to sail. Well, they have other people that are older too, but it's a division of the Boy Scouts. And I wanted to see their facility because when they were first planning to build it, I'd met the people, and they were real nice, and they kind of had the same vision to be eco-friendly. So I went ahead and stopped by, and was blessed that I ran into somebody from Island Church, one of the churches I visit whenever I'm in Galveston and have gone to church, and they were nice, and he prayed for me, and they were real encouraging. Not encouraging me not to give up. But anyway, back to West Marine. If you need anything that, of course, they have all kinds of guides. This is one of the reasons that it's taken me a while, is studying all these things, but making sure I know everything, because I don't want to make any mistakes. But the guides, they don't even make these anymore, but I was lucky enough to get one of these. I, of course, have the Towboat US to make sure that if I ever have engine problems, whether I stick with gasoline or if I go with electric. And I have the gold membership, which is great. But anyway, I don't want to ramble too much, but I did want to tell you that the project, I'm still working on it. Here's like I was saying earlier, I didn't replace the refrigerator. Actually, this one's only about $1,400. But anyway, the eco-friendly retreat center in Florida is still a work in progress, but I'm not giving up. I know that everything comes together in God's perfect time, not mine. So in between time, like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I helped with Turtle Patrol and the Turtle Island Restoration Network, and so I helped protect some turtles and stuff, and I have had a few storms and gone through a lot, but I've learned a ton of stuff, and I hope something that I've shared will help you and encourage you and tell you a little information when you're making decisions about your boats. And so never give up on your dream. And for me, I'm content whatever the circumstances. I know how to handle working in small spaces and plowing through the dirty stuff, like when I did the restoration of Grace, and now working on Crown Prince. I've been working on both of them kind of at the same time, but it's so much research and so much to know, and being a woman, I have to make sure I know everything so I make wise decisions and don't waste any money. Anyway, so I'm content whatever the circumstances, whether I've been in mansions, and I've been places and ministered to homeless. So it doesn't matter which way I go. Philippians 4:11